Hello, today we about Santiago de Querétaro, Mexico. This is a beautiful place, but one of the things that stand out in their very delicious food, for example, tamal de fresa, sopa de elote, huaraches, among others. Yes, of course. The tamal de fresa is a mixture of cornmeal with water, sand, and more spice, and in this case, as a strawberry sweet for sugar leads out highlight its flavor. The cecina seca con naranja agra is a drip poured with bitter orange. The huaraches, okay, are oblong inches about 10 inches long, made of fresh masant, suffered with yellowish bean paste and liberally garnish. The camote is a candy sweet potato cooked into bars and wrapped in paper. The capirotada is especially for during Lent, a white bread pudding with various combinations of ingredients such as cheese, tomato, peanut, radishes, and Vigna cactus are covered with this. The jamoncillo is freshly ground nuts or seeds, especially the pumpkin, pine nuts, or peanuts, prepared with milk and sugar. This is a traditional food of Querétaro. Perhaps they are not the most known, but they are part of Querétaro personality.
Yeah, but what about the typical clothing?
What do you know about it?
As in some other Mexican regions, the clothing is conceived as a representation of the traditional couple, as feminine set for woman who is joined by a man who has his own harmonious clothes. First, I'm gonna mention the typical clothes of the Querétaro woman. That is composed of two main pieces, upper and lower, and accessories that complement it. The skirt has multiple colors and is joined by horizontal stripes. To provide contrast, the colors of the stripes can be black or brown. The colors that are always present in this piece are yellow, green, red, and violet. The material that makes up the skirt is usually wool, although the canvas is also used. The length of the skirt reaches the ankle of the woman in order to enchase it. The lower part of the skirt usually includes a colored grid joined by other details. The upper part of the suit is made of a cloth that covers the torso and back of the woman. This has the popular name of quechua. The quechua is made of wool and is shaped for different color presentation: blue, purple, or black. This tone is joined by usually white stripes by detailed franks in the edge. The accessories that accompany this typical costume can be colorful ribbons, crowns, or small flowers. As footwear, they use the classic huaraches, traditional in many states of Mexico. And finally, I'm gonna mention the typical suit of Querétaro men. The typical costume of Querétaro men is much simple. It's composed of two main pieces. One of these is short, are unicolor white pants supported by only a grid. They also wear a blanket shirt, usually the same color as the pants. It's common for male suits to always be white, although it's not essential. In the feet, the popular huaraches fit, and the only accessory they use is a bandana on the head. The time and informality of some situations have replaced the shorts by more common pants, although maintaining the same color as the rest of the suit.
Those clothes sound amazing, but I prefer the archaeological zone of Querétaro.
Can you tell us about them?
Sure, I told you the four main archaeological zones of Querétaro. And if you want your visit to Querétaro be the best trip that you will ever had, it's because of these 4 archaeological zones so magnificent and full of history. First of all, the archaeological site of Ranas is located southwest of the Sierra Gorda, and the altitude of this is 2,400 meters above the sea level. The pre-Hispanic civilization settled in the space between 400 and 1300 AD. Their economy is mining, hunting and gathering, and agriculture. Second one is El Cierrito Archaeological Site, located on the north central region of Mexico, between the eastern and western of the Sierras. And the head of this corregidora municipality is 7 kilometers from the city of Querétaro. The number 3 is the archaeological zone of Teluquilla, found 110 kilometers from San Juan del Rio. The ruins of the pre-Hispanic city are located an elongated plateau which was modeled with stone and mud. The number 4 is the archaeological zone of Tancama, located in the Sierra Gorda of Querétaro, 13 kilometers from the municipal site and municipal delegation Rincón de Tancama. It is pretty amazing, isn't it? Not sure about that, but Querétaro does have spooky legends, right? No, I really want to go Querétaro.
Yes, indeed, one of the most popular legends of Querétaro is the legend of La Casa de Don Bartolo, or the House of Mr. Bartolo. This legend talks about a very wealthy rich man that always made a really strange and specific toast on his birthday. Here's to the lady, my sister, for my soul and for the May 20th of 1701. Nobody really knew why Don Bartolo covered this specific date every single year, until that very dark night arrived. On the midnight of May 20 of 1701, a horrible scream was heard across Don Bartolo's house, and in the morning of that day, the neighbors discovered not only the corpse of Don Bartolo and his sister, but also a contract with the devil for riches and well-being for a whole century, with the very sign of none other than Mr. Bartolo. Legend has it that till this day, every single night on Mr. Bartolo's house, you can hear the horrifying laments and cries of sorrow coming from the tortured soul of Don Bartolo.
Okay, that really gave me the goosebumps.
Yeah, me too. But actually, there are some other creepy legends around Querétaro, like the Devil's Hole, which you can guess by the name, it's really creepy. This one actually takes place on the ex-convent of San Francisco in Querétaro. And yes, the actual devil makes an appearance of this story. Short story long, the devil appears as a woman in front of one boy that was preparing to become a priest. And when the devil tried to run away from him and the other boy's prayers, when his cover was blown away, he left behind a pitch-dark hole on the ceiling of the convent. There's also the legend of Maximilian's shadow, which is supposed to be the shadow of the actual Maximiliano de Habsburgo, lurking around the shrine of the sanctuary of the Holy Cross in the Cerro de las Campanas. Legend says that at midnight, if you're lucky enough, you'll run the risk of meeting the shadow of Maximilian.
We like now some cultural facts, like on September 12th, the celebration of the Santa Cruz de los Milagros is celebrated, during which for 3 days it's celebrated with local dance from Querétaro, a neighboring stage, typical food, carnivals, and other cultural expressions. Or in the Tequisquiapan, the festivities of Santa María Magdalena is patron saint of the town, are celebrated the third weeks of July. It highlights the participation of the dance of the concheros and the pyrotechnics games. In Teques, the cheese and wind fire is also celebrated. Traditional industries in the town. The fire is held for 10 days for tourist purpose. On how call I forget the parade of musical cars that takes place in the capital every December to 24 to commemorate the birth of Jesus Christ. The festivities of each community are celebrated the religious purpose, abundant food, live music, maze, dance, and fireworks. Also one my favorite celebration is the dance of the concheros of Nahuatl origin that takes place in all Mexican stage where this culture still survives of spirit origin born the myth of the sun, king and creator of all things, following astronomical patterns of the position of gods and planets. The dancers draw geometric figures